Okay, so we are live on YouTube as well. So the whole story here is that the most important or the headline for us, for all aspirants who give this exam, that this week we had our, on last Sunday, we had prelims examination and uh, like every year, prelims was on 24th May and then on 20th August, we have mains. Something very important which happened this year was, or very unique which happened was, UPSC said that they will provide the provisional key by 30th of May, and surprisingly, they provided it on 27th itself. So yesterday, while I was doing the session of solution and all, and then I realized that they have already provided a provisional key. So the major challenge was like now, पहली बार ऐसा होगा कि you have your what is the UPSC's key, and anybody who has given this exam would find also have कि क्या उनका आंसर मैच कर सकते हैं. So you have a rough idea that where do you stand, how your exam has been. You also see the UPSC's cutoffs of last 5, 3, 4 years. So you will realize, generally उसी around होता है. Most of the time, if you are in the border case, stay always hopeful. क्या पता पलट जाए. But otherwise, if you are in down or up extremes, so you know whether you are going to give the means or not. Right? So today we are going to talk few aspects of UPSC, and another element which I want to also include is that जो बच्चे जो aspirants जो कॉलेज जिनका अभी खत्म होता है, like this is the final year, final semester, around May and June their exams gets over and they start preparing from July onwards. Uh, दूसरा category of people are there who are preparing in their college time also, but they become serious कि मुझे ड्रॉप लेके करना है कि क्या करना है from July onwards, June onwards, July onwards, like that. So we are going to talk in their aspect also, क्या कैसे टाइमलाइन और कैसे सेल्फ स्टडी करना चाहिए. My entire preparation strategy here is, I am a firm believer of self study. What do I mean by self study? मेरे सेल्फ स्टडी का मतलब, अगर हमारे पास थोड़ी सी गाइडेंस हो, मेरे पास मेरी किताबें हैं, मेरे पास नोट्स हैं, मैं उनको देख पाऊँ और मैं फॉलो कर पाऊँ कि कितना कितने लेवल तक मुझे पढ़ना चाहिए. सेल्फ स्टडी डज नॉट मीन कि मैं खाली पढ़ता ही जा रहा हूँ, पढ़ता ही जा रहा हूँ, नो एंड टू इट ना. देयर इज अ स्ट्रैटेजी व्हाई यू आर डूइंग द सेल्फ स्टडी. ऑब्वियसली बिना सेल्फ स्टडी के तो कुछ होगा नहीं, बट इन प्रिपरेशन ऑफ यूपीएससी you are taking the guidance of mentor like me and many others are there who try to help you that कि कितना कितने लेवल तक आप पढ़ें, आपका नॉलेज हो, which will be enough for this exam. Secondly, what happens in this exam is कई चीजें आपके इंटरेस्ट का होता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू आर ज्योग्राफी लवर और हिस्ट्री लवर, यू आपका ग्रेजुएशन भी हिस्ट्री है कुछ है. सो द एक्सपेक्टेशन ऑलवेज इज दैट विच एवर इज ऑफ योर इंटरेस्ट, वहाँ आपका नॉलेज थोड़ी सी टॉप क्लास. So similarly, your preparation becomes top class. So in that particular subject. So saying that सबका अलग अलग होता है, but that is what the general studies beauty is in the entire UPSC preparation. So we are going to start our session with that. Last session I covered almost all the FAQs which I had received. सबसे common एक ही था, how do I start from start. So I have told that about the GS Foundation program, which is on daily email and which comes free, but there is a workshop charge of 90 rupees, which I take for genuine aspirants. Uh, so that's not the program fee, obviously, but that the entire daily thing is free. And yes, Hindi and English medium both. And slowly updates are going on in that part as well. So that I'll talk later, but now let us see, मूव फॉरवर्ड. तो मेरा यही आपसे ये रहेगा कि अगर आपके पास ऐसा कोई कंफ्यूजन है, कहीं चैलेंज है, कुछ आप मन में रख के आए हो, आपको बोलना है, तो यू शुड जस्ट लेट अस टेक दिस अपॉर्चुनिटी ऑफ listening to each other or hearing to each other or interacting with each other. Okay. What had happened was that when this exam, prelims exam started this year, the immediate reaction of prelims goer was that that paper was absolutely the most toughest paper. They could not understand what is UPSC's what is that UPSC wants to prepare for. चाहते क्या है वो, ऐसा पेपर क्यों दिया. एंड पीपल वर क्राइंग, पीपल सेड हमारे 2 साल की मेहनत खराब हो गई, अब कैसे करें क्या करें. एंड प्रीलिम हैज दिस फैंटास्टिक रेपुटेशन ऑफ ए हार्ट ब्रेकर. उससे बढ़िया हार्ट ब्रेकर कुछ नहीं है. द प्रॉब्लम इज कि प्रीलिम्स देते वक्त ही आपका हार्ट ब्रेक होता है, रिजल्ट तो छोड़ो. रिजल्ट तो आपको पता है, वो तो रोने अलग ही दिन है. बट जिद और हार्ट ब्रेकिंग एट द सेम मोमेंट प्रीलिम्स जो आपको देता है. एंड डजेंट मैटर आप कितने ब्रिलियंट हो क्या हो, आपका पूरा ह्यूमन साइड ही वो निचोड़ देता है, लाइक दैट. नाउ obviously you're all youngster, 21, 23, 24 years है. एस्पिरेशन लेवल इज वेरी हाई. दुनिया को जीतने का, कुछ बदलने का, कुछ करने का. आई कैन डू इट टू प्रूव इट टू द वर्ल्ड कि भाई, बहुत मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम ऑल ऑफ द पीपल हु आर एस्पायरिंग ओवर हियर आर एक्चुअली वांटिंग टू प्रूव समथिंग देयर वर्थ to either their parents or their friends or the society as a whole, like anything. तो आपका जज्बा इतना हाई होता है, उसमें ऐसा प्रीलिम्स का पेपर आ जाए वेयर यू फाइंड दैट ओ माय गॉड, दिस इज समथिंग बियॉन्ड व्हाट एम आई इवन प्रिपेयरिंग. आई एंटर्ड, आई स्टडीड लक्ष्मीकांत. People are, I also saw a lot of memes and reels going on, even by big faculties. They're talking, showing about this, how dejected they are by the thing. So the preparation is not like that. Somehow last 15 years, the impression of UPSC preparation has been like coaching तो लेना बहुत जरूरी है. कोचिंग तो लेना बहुत जरूरी है. Now this has created so much, something like that normalize हो गया है. Whereas UPSC wants to go back to the system saying कि नहीं, ये बिना कोचिंग के करना. दिस एग्जाम और दिस द पर्सनालिटीज दे आर लुकिंग फॉर, और द पीपल दे आर लुकिंग फॉर आर रॉ, शुड बी ट्रेनेबल. अरे कोचिंग करके आएंगे तो क्या ही होता है. दे आर नॉट ट्रेनेबल आफ्टर डूइंग ए हैवी कोचिंग. व्हेन दे गो देयर फॉर द रियल ट्रेनिंग, दे फाइंड देमसेल्फ अनएबल टू बी ट्रेन्ड अगेन, बिकॉज जो उनका ट्रेनिंग माइंडसेट होता है वो कोचिंग में ही चला गया होता है. यू विल सी दैट इज द रीजन व्हाई. Anybody wants to say something? So So there's a whole lot of information. There's a whole lot of thing to distract. I I would love that we are inter. Yes, you can annotate and do that. You can play around, but just see that it doesn't distract, or you don't write up anything which is, because it's recorded and live as well. Then it doesn't go well with the other audience. But whatever, if you're absorbing it, definitely. And I've written these words not unnecessarily. ये मेरा भी feeling है. This is my feeling also. The challenge is that we are so much surrounded by so much of negativity and so much of disheartenment, that the light of hope is only says that you have to do hard work. Hey, what is hard work? Everybody is doing hard work. Everybody is preparing for 8, 12 hours. People are working. People have given drops. People have left jobs. And then UPSC is like this. Now, all this happened the first night when people were crying and this thing, and in the next morning, and I saw a lot of videos of many top faculties, blasting UPSC absurdity, this, that, all that thing. Okay. And I was also, for one moment, even I was also genuinely feeling like, yes, ये तो बात बिल्कुल सही है. This is what is happening. This is. Then suddenly, one fine thing I realized that, when my body has, what is the nature of body, human body biology, that when it wants to cure something, some external cells which has come, it increases the temperature of the body, and the body catches fever. उसको एक ही पार्ट ठीक करना है, बट उसके चक्कर में वो पूरे बॉडी को फीवर पे ले आता है. The moment the entire fever happens, the reason of fever is not to make you feel weak, but to kill those external bacteria through increase of temperature. और वो bacteria can be only harmful for a year maybe, or maybe for foot or anything, but the entire body suffers through the fever. And same thing I felt that is happening with UPSC. Especially today when all these, when we start, how do somebody gets to not know about civil services examination? It is not through any government or governors or district collector को नहीं देखते हैं. Neither they know what is the where is the office of district collector. किसी को नहीं पता. कोचिंग इंडस्ट्री ही है सबसे पहले जो इंट्रोड्यूस कराती है सिविल सर्विसेज. You go, you'll see a pamphlet, you'll see, you'll see somebody giving a free session about this government exam, then somebody talking about IAS, IPS, पुलिस में कैसे भर्ती होते हैं, and all that kind of thing. Then you realize, okay, धीरे धीरे तुमको समझ में आती है होता क्या है सिविल सर्विसेज. So whoever has introduced you, your faith on them starts increasing. And then they start talking about it. Does IIT engineer come and tell you that IIT is an institute? No. Does any of the IITs come? IIT Mumbai comes, IIT Chennai comes, IIT Delhi come to you to say कि we are an institute of engineering, come do engineering with us? No. But a coaching institute comes and says that, see, these are the top-notch engineering, you have to prepare at that level to enter there. So you feel that now this person has told me this information, यही मुझे लेके जाएगा वहां पे. And then you have the affinity, which is not wrong. Now, when this normal aspirational thing becomes, बहुत ज्यादा हो जाता है, this kind of things happen. Today, everybody is talking about, uh, corruption, this, that, UPSC में ऐसा है, इसमें ऐसा है, वैसा है. Now, tell me one thing. When you give the exam जहाँ पे लिखा होता है कि there is always a question on corruption. In interview they ask about what do you think, this, that. All the students say I'll stay honest, this, that, I'll do serve the country, this, that. But still after that also, why the process of corruption is still relevant or still there since independence? Why cannot it be uprooted? What stops? So that means something fake is going on. Something is fake. Something we are only dramatizing. Something we are trying to just say that, just for the sake of saying हमें ऐसे बोलना है. And all the toppers, all the people who talk about it are just faking around it. It is not real. Real में तो I have seen even news where uh, big toppers are now being caught in the this thing of vigilance, taking money, small sum of money. Why such thing happens? Is there any reason? The reason is that we do not have a good role model. We do not have we do not have a good uh, people to emulate to. We are all feeling that just for the sake of the glamour, sake of the power, that will give a lot attention, differentiation. We should prepare for this exam. Now, with this mindset, when you go for an exam preparation, this is definitely be more harmful. You are not trying to understand India. You're not trying to understand who are the people who gave their life to build this country. You're not trying to understand why did they write that literature or write that constitution, or why did it consider that particular kind of English or interpretation in Hindi, and why Supreme Court is trying to do that kind of interpretation. You're not understanding all that thing. You're trying to understand कि एक बार मेरा एग्जाम हो जाए, बस I'll be IAS अफसर लिखूंगा उधर जिला अधिकारी. Yeah, like that. So with that mindset and what is required for that job is a mismatch. And coaching industry definitely tries to fuel it. कि भाई ये लो, new PDF, new PDF, new PDF, something new PDF. And the most worst part is today when the era of digital technology, whatever you see and hear, it starts giving you that only. So if I have seen a video on UPSC something, then my entire algorithm in Instagram se leke in YouTube is talking about that only. Only that kind of humor, only that kind of thing. So it kind of holds you in that digital vision that he yahi chal raha hai mere around. So this is where the challenge comes. Now, मैंने देखा कि after all this examination, again the thing is कि क्या यूपीएससी एग्जाम हार्डर बन रहा है, दिस बिकम वेरी टफ एंड थिंग्स लाइक दैट. So let me tell you very simple. Whatever happens, यूपीएससी हार्ड बने, इजी बने, क्या भी बने, ठीक है, the always it runs through this philosophy. There is a vacancy because it's for job, it is not academia. So always see that whatever is the vacancy, if 1,000 is the vacancy, they will select 12,000 people from prelims, 12,000 to 13,000 from prelims, and they will write mains. So irrespective of whatever be the cutoff, they are going to select 1,000 students, 12,000 students. So it doesn't matter. Hard डालो कि easy डालो. If the paper is going to be tough, it is going to be tough for everybody. All the 5 lakh, 6 lakh students who are going to go for the exam. अरे इजी बना के क्या मिलेगा उनको, या हार्ड बना के क्या मिलेगा? आने तो टॉप 12,000 ही है. दैट्स इट. And in fact, either you do not have you ever read the entire story of how do they qualify eligibility for prelims? For example, आपका और किसी का सेम स्कोर आ गया. They are going to check. नंबर वन इज, आप दोनों में से बड़ा कौन है? जो बड़ा है वो निकल जाएगा, उसका प्रीलिम्स वो हो जाएगा. अगर उससे दोनों सेम डेट पे है, सेम डेट पे है, बिकॉज आप इंफॉर्मेशन देते हो, देन दे चेक व्हाट इज क्लास 10th मार्क. जिसका क्लास 10th में ज्यादा मार्क है वो निकल जाएगा. So these are the kind of way eligibility, even if you have scored the same mark. So we are not aware how these things happen, but they will find out 12,000 people जो मेंस लिखने वाले हैं. आपका नाम उसमें है या नहीं है, वो आपको डिपेंड करता है कि आप कैसे एग्जाम देते हो. एग्जाम कैन बी द टफेस्ट, एग्जाम कैन बी द इजीएस्ट. अगर एग्जाम इजी होगा, देन इट विल बी इजी फॉर द एंटायर पीपल हु आर अपियरिंग दिस एग्जाम. इफ द एग्जाम इज हार्ड, इट इज गोइंग टू बी हार्ड एग्जाम फॉर एवरीबडी. So that is where the thing comes. So paper वो कैसे भी सेट करे. You see whatever people giving judgment की absurdity, what nonsense you are writing English. How can you write that? If you see there was a question in this 2026 prelims about Nobel Prize winner. If X is born in England and is studied from American University and has got Nobel in physics this year, find X. Who writes such kind of question? There are somebody saying that they took content of all the coaching industry and put it in the chat GPT, and they tried to tell chat GPT that create something which is non-thinkable by this. Now my thing was, yeah, एक आध question or maybe 20, 30 questions are like that. In fact, whatever I gave solution for, if you see my solution of paper one, 84 and the provisional solution, only 84 solution are matching. 16 still are debatable in my own solution. Now I am trying to find out reason why UPSC has considered it correct. जो यूपीएससी ने करेक्ट किया उसको हम एक्सेप्ट करेंगे until unless the when they may, what maximum happens is they cancel the question अगर गड़बड़ हो गया. बट ये रियलिटी भी है, क्वेश्चन गड़बड़ हो जाता है. So what happens is when you listen to all this thing and then start preparation for this examination, you already build a perception of your own. What is the perception which you have built before preparing or judging your own preparation? कि सबसे पहले कि कोचिंग होगा तो ही होगा भैया. दूसरा, हमको 25 आवर्स पढ़ना पड़ेगा 24 आवर्स में से. फिर उसके बाद सिलेबस, देयर इज नो एंड टू सिलेबस. फिर आपका लक फैक्टर होना चाहिए भाई, लॉटरी लगनी चाहिए प्रीलिम्स का क्लियर करना. प्रीलिम्स ऐसे नहीं होता, कोई अलग सा कृपा दृष्टि चाहिए. और उसके बाद सबसे जो वर्ष हम करते हैं एज प्रिपरेशन, अब ये इसका ये इस पे मैं बात डिबेट भी कर सकता हूँ, इस पर डिस्कस भी कर सकता हूँ. हम सोसाइटी से कट ऑफ हो जाते हैं, हम वर्ल्ड से कट ऑफ हो जाते हैं. वी आर प्रिपेयरिंग बिकॉज वी डोंट वांट our relative. It is very humiliation to hear what is your child doing, what is your son. My parents are going for some marriage, somebody's wedding, they are asking what is he doing. See, he is getting married, somebody is going to America, somebody is going to say your child अभी तक तो पढ़ाई ही कर रहा है. तो यूपीएससी जो देते हैं, दे गो थ्रू लॉट ऑफ दिस सच काइंड ऑफ ऑडियंस. और अगर एग्जाम हुआ नहीं तो और लाइफ लॉन्ग उसका एक दरार मन में रह जाता है. And these are kind of things on which a decision making, I want to prepare for this exam, stands on. But the reality is what? The reality is totally different. We are living in a different world altogether. सबसे पहला चीज, if you are not enjoying what you are studying, then बाबा ये होने वाला नहीं है. So self study is important. I always try to tell, I don't know how many sessions you have attended or this is your first session. The way I say you have, imagine you are understanding India. आप भारत को जान रहे हो, आप इंडिया को जान रहे हो. You are trying to understand how this India country was built. It is a story, it is an investigative story. Be very curious. अगर हम केमिस्ट्री के बारे में पढ़ते हैं, अगर हम रॉकेट साइंस के बारे में पढ़ते हैं, और वी आर अंडरस्टैंडिंग हाउ मेनी वेपन्स डज इंडिया हैव, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ इनसैट सैटेलाइट लॉन्चेस इंडिया हैव, a general knowledge copy will do what? INSAT was launched on 1978, 900 what date and number, what is the INSAT, what is the satellite, what is the rocket, it is written like that in a general book. But when you are trying to understand India, you have to understand what was the story, how was that rocket built. The first rocket was carried over in cycle. Second, how did the size of rocket this thing? Why do we have what is magnetic um, orbit? What is Thumba? Why rocket station is in Thumba or Sriharikota in India? Why does rocket launch pad is on the eastern side of the uh, continent. Every country you see, may it be India, may it be USA, may it be this thing, Russia. What is the reason? So all these things, once you come to know as an investigative practice, understood that needs you to understand a little bit of geography, little bit of physics, little bit of science. What is development of India? Are we as a country citizen? What is our contribution? How are we governed together? What is called as rights? What when we call it as our country, हमारे क्या right है? Is it a kingdom or it is a republic or it is a democracy? What kind of governance? ये सारी चीजें the more you come to know, create your in curiosity around it, then your self study becomes important. तब आपको अच्छा लगेगा. आधा टाइम तो ऐसा लगेगा लोग स्टोरी बोल रहे, बट देन यू विल रियलाइज, लाइक लाइक जनवरी से मई 26 आपका गया है 2026. फॉर एवरी वन ऑफ अस फ्रॉम जनवरी ऑनवर्ड्स, व्हाट इज द वर्ल्ड इवेंट्स विच हैपेंड जनवरी में? क्या हुआ? अंकल डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प का दिमाग खराब है कि वो वेनेजुएला के प्रेसिडेंट को उठा के ले आए. वहां से फिर उन्होंने ऑयल पे पकड़ शुरू कर दिया. February 28 को क्या हुआ? उन्होंने ये पसंद नहीं आया उनको, ईरान ईरान पे अटैक कर दिया. तो ये ग्लोबली सबको इसका इम्पैक्ट रहा है. एवरीबडी इज गॉन थ्रू दिस. So all of us know what is the pattern of activities or events which has happened to this. Why I'm saying this? You need to understand what was the logic, why did that war happen, who impacted, how economy is affected to it, why India is suffering with what is Strait of Hormuz, why we are fighting about why the prices of oil is increased in our country, how we are dependent on import, why Modi country, Prime Minister comes and says, do not, avoid, do carpooling or go work from home. Why? Once you understand this fundamental, you will realize that this is very, very, knowing India is very, very enjoyable. Now coming to the paper. I will not talk or cut off or anything on prelims paper, but I say always whatever in the last 2 3 years, the cutoff around always has remains almost similar. So you have to see that where you stand, either here, either. Paper was definitely little more absurd to think, but there were still questions which were, one could do it. ऐसा नहीं था कि क्वेश्चन नहीं किया जा सकता था. So just blaming because of 2 3 questions the entire paper's nature will also not be fair on the UPSC part. But it is not from any PDF, not from any coaching content and things like that. The strategy about this particular paper or this particular approach of prelims is having a conceptual clarity, having understanding of dynamic and static syllabus and integration of current affair to it, then analytical elimination, that is understanding a पढ़ो पूरे statement को. It was all long questions. and multi-domain synthesis. It's not that ki physics ka was limited or science was limited to science. They were mixing history and they were mixing ancient history, art and culture so many times, economy like that. So these are the nature or changing trend of the paper which is going to happen, and we have to be very realistic that such things are going to stay, and it will definitely will be impacting in the next upcoming. So our preparation has to be like that. Discussion with few of my aspirants, students, and whatever I've seen in YouTube leads to this. This is something you can say more who are attending and watching this session. Okay, these are few lessons from prelims, and let's quickly move on to the next part of the slide. So this is what is currently the status of India's global engagement hub. So I'm sure none you would not be aware about everything's background, and that I can start discussing directly. So you would have already seen this, that what is happening around in the country. अगर नहीं तो how as a UPSC aspirant what we have to judge and understand. See, this is something, like entire year of calendar. Every month, some or other thing keeps on happening around these things. Sometimes it comes in the highlight, sometimes it comes in the, this thing. It's in back burner. तो जब एग्जाम का आता है बात, प्रीलिम्स या मेंस की बात आती है, so there are places where these same incidents का objective questions becomes as a prelims driven question, or then there is a questions like diplomacy driven questions or uh, international relation driven questions जो आपको मेंस में दे आस्क द क्वेश्चन. तो मोटामोटी अगर देखा जाए टुडे व्हेन वी आर स्टैंडिंग इन मंथ ऑफ मे, what is that India is looking around or what is happening? First is neighborhood around us. What is happening with Bangladesh? There's the new government in Bangladesh. Then there's the Nepal hydro diplomacy which is going on, and then the tension with Pakistan. Second is with China. China's relation, one is our border issues, one is our trade challenges, one is a competitive multilateralism, especially with when it comes to the recent visit of US to China and how US is pitching, the positioning of US, India and China in this subcontinent. And it is impacting our relation as well. Then comes the diaspora, India's Middle East economics, dynamics, how we are contributing in Middle East, what is our energy dependency from there, the trade corridors, the Strait of Hormuz, and the kind of people, kind of the remittances are the biggest way of earning global dollars. And Indian diaspora is the largest contributor or largest diaspora across the world, which contributes to the through the country for with dollars. डॉलर लाके देते हैं ये हमको, because when they send their money, it comes in dollar to India, and then at the exchange rate, the dollar is exchanged to Indian rupees. So the providers are diaspora. तो मिडिल ईस्ट इकोनॉमी उसका जो चैलेंजेस अभी चल रहा है. Then the Russian-Ukraine conflict, how it has grown since the time the war started, with every year, and what is its current status, especially impacting the relation between India and Ukraine, India and Russia in the world stage. Then comes this global leadership which is going on currently in India. Also, G20 was spoken. G7, I'm sure you're aware of a recent conference that happened. India is not part of G7 as a member, but is an observator, they have called. So, like that, how G20 is shaping up and things like that, South-South cooperation. This is something, BRICS is another part which is taking place parallelly. तो वी हैव टू सी दैट व्हेन वी एनी क्वेश्चन और एनीथिंग जो नया आता है करंट अफेयर में या ईयर में आता है, आपको देखना है कि चाहे आप न्यूज़पेपर से पढ़ो कि गूगल न्यूज़ से पढ़ो कि अपडेट फ्रॉम एनीवेयर यू आर गेटिंग, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन यू शुड बी एबल टू गैदर, एनालाइज एंड रिकॉर्ड इट फॉर अलाइनिंग विथ योर यूपीएससी सिलेबस. अब बहुत सारे, मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम ऑल द न्यूज़पेपर्स आर फिल्ड विथ नेगेटिव काइंड ऑफ, कोई मर गया, कोई कुछ हो गया, क्या हो, ऐसे टाइप की बातें ही होती रहती हैं. लाइक दैट लॉस, फाइनेंशियल लॉस, ये वो. कुछ कुछ बातें होती हैं जहाँ पे दे टॉक अबाउट what is the policy decision, why India is suffering like this in economy, and there are intelligent speakers who are writing about it, giving their opinion. There, you'll have some very very important background stories, what had happened in the past, 1991, how India tackled the BOP balance of trade and balance of payment situation. What was the reason LPG was considered or welcomed in India? What was the exchange rate with respect to dollar in 1991 and now in 2026? Why it has changed to the way it has changed? ये सारी बातें, अब इन सबको समझने के लिए एक लेक्चर तो नहीं होता, बट इनका सीक्वेंस आपको समझना पड़ेगा, बैकग्राउंड समझना पड़ेगा, उस टाइम की परिस्थिति, व्हाट द इंडिया ऑफ दैट एरा वाज, क्या हमारी स्टैंड था वर्ल्ड ओवर में, whether we had any stand or not, did we have any contribution in trade in the world or anything like that. तो ये सारी चीजों को समझोगे तो, बट उसको समझने के लिए द लेंस टू लुक इट एट इज फ्रॉम द सिलेबस व्हाट वी हैव इन आवर हैंड. Now, I don't know whether I should be talking about this for beginners. I consider that the GS Foundation Plan, which you know, I I have developed the GS Foundation Plan. You enroll it in that, and your day one starts with preparation. 30 days तक आप प्रिपेयर करोगे, उसके बाद आपका माइंड ऑटोमेटिकली आपको पता चलेगा whether you are doing, you will be able to understand. So, agar if you want to, I want to quickly show, go to my website and you will see that here it mentions about the GS. Once you enroll it, you get 400 GS Foundation Program Plan, and which immediately starts after registration. ये आज आप अभी सेशन के बाद अगर स्टार्ट करना चाहते हैं तो it is only one time for your platform of 90, and you will never have to pay it again. Then you become a part of the Elevate IAS community, and this is for this workshop only. So what you have to do is you have to choose these 400-day GS Foundation program. So the moment you click it, it will start coming to your. What kind of mails comes to your mail? I'll show that. Apart from that, you will get PDF for rapid revision, what 200 free, and then GS main strategy handbook. These are in English, and then UPSC preparation kit where a syllabus, where book list, notification of 2026 is available for instant download. So coming to the point that how no, you get an email every day for the next 400 days. So we will start with the phase one of NCRT and NIOS books, where every day you will get a chapter where I give the video learning of the chapter, then chapter note, then download the chapter for your reference. You may just keep it in your mobile, I mean in your email also, or keep it a separate folder for yourself. Then you have your revision practice MCQ, which allows you to revise whatever you have studied. And this is where the key is कि हर दिन आप ये करते रहेंगे. So by the end of uh, by the end of 400 days, you will at least be very much grounded कि हम पूरा prelims, mains और इंटरव्यू के लिए आपकी प्रिपरेशन है. उसके बाद आप शार्प एजिंग चलेगा once you have done the entire foundation program. So this is how I say, जो भी क्वेश्चन मुझे पूछता है कि सर हाउ डू आई स्टार्ट, हाउ डू आई स्टार्ट, तो दिस इज हाउ यू शुड स्टार्ट. आई वुडंट से और क्या तरीके, और जो भी तरीके हैं, बट सबको एक ही चीज लगता है, कंसिस्टेंसी, डिसिप्लिन और प्रोग्रेस ट्रैकिंग. वो करना बड़ा मुश्किल है. वहाँ इस प्रोग्राम में ये होगा कि आई एम सेंड यू मेल डेली इन द मॉर्निंग. यू हैव टू सी दैट यू आर कंसिस्टेंट ओपनिंग इट. आधा घंटा, 1 घंटा, जितना भी टाइम लगता है वो पढ़ने के लिए, आप सब पढ़ो. आपके पास रिसोर्स नहीं है तो मैं रिसोर्स भी तो दे रहा हूँ. यू हैव टू सी दैट यू हैव आई गिवन यू. यू जस्ट नीड टू एक्सेस द मेल एंड डू इट. अगर आपके पास खुद की किताब है, इफ यू हैव योर ओन बुक्स, then read from that book. No worries. You can be faster also. I'm not saying this is what you should depend on. You can always add on. In fact, I have given a study plan generator in my website free. You can generate your own study plan as per your requirement. What all other exams you are giving, what all other, because timeline भी तो होता है. जैसे प्रीलिम्स के बाद इमीडिएटली लोगों के पास आरआरबी, आरबीआई का एग्जाम है, एंड थिंग्स लाइक दैट. तो दे हैव देयर ओन एग्जाम शेड्यूल्स. सो हम ऐसा नहीं कह सकते कि खाली एक ही एग्जाम के चक्कर में पूरा सालों साल लगे. We have to see that what are other exam opportunities which can be cracked through the preparation, similar preparation. यूजुअली एक इनिशियल जो लेवल में जो बच्चे स्टार्ट करते हैं, या जो वर्किंग होते हैं, जो ऑफिस में होते हैं, उनका एक ऐसा है, मेरा ये मानना है कि धीरे धीरे आप न्यूज़पेपर से ही स्टार्ट करें तो स्लोली स्लोली एक स्टेमिना बढ़ता है पढ़ने का. पढ़ने की आदत चली गई होती है, फोकस्ड फॉर दैट एग्जाम स्पेसिफिकली. बहुत सारे लोग क्या सोचते हैं कि कॉलेज में जैसे पढ़ाई की वैसे हो जाएगा. नहीं, वैसा नहीं है. अगर आप कॉलेज की पढ़ाई का अप्रोच भी रखते हैं, अगेन इट विल नॉट हेल्प यू टू क्लियर प्रीलिम्स. इट विल बी जस्ट नोट वोट बना के रखोगे. कॉलेज की पढ़ाई और ये पढ़ाई में डिफरेंस ये है कि दिस मोर टू कीप यू ऑन द टोज. आप जितने अपने आप को ऑन द टोज, ऑन द फुट रखोगे, यू विल बी एबल टू मैनेज इट वेरी वेल. So before I go forward, agar anybody has any question to ask, please unmute yourself. दिस इज द टाइम, दिस इज द इंटरैक्टिव सेशन. ऐसा नहीं कि मैं ही अकेला बोलता रहूंगा. इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट. प्लीज बी फ्री. यू टॉक, यू चैट, वट एवर यू हैव एनी चैलेंज. And let me have the, because we have another 20 minutes with us, so you can talk about it, because these are all generic jam which I'm giving right now. I'll immediately come to what is happening tomorrow morning. Tomorrow for the answer writing, we are starting for mains program, Elevate mains. But usse pehle, please, I have given answer to all the FAQs which were submitted the last session. And if you have any questions right now, you please, you can unmute or type in the chat, whoever is attending. Manojna, Praveen, you have any questions? Okay, so I know it takes time to open up, but let me tell you the entire beauty of this session is it is interactive. मेरा intention नहीं है just to put out, read out uh, this kind of PPTs, but still I have to give some way of keeping the momentum. Now, people who have given the prelims exam on Sunday and they are finding it very tough because provisional exam result has also come. Provisional exam result in the sense answer key has come. You must have checked out the whatever is the key with your set and something. कहीं ना कहीं आपने मैच कर लिया होगा. What is your score? So I say don't wait much for the result. जब आएगा आएगा. Start your mains examination preparation. The more time you give your break loge, the momentum will go off. Then the exam result happens, and if you have flunked the exam, और नीचे जाएगा दिमाग. So that is one thing. And then optional को आप अभी तक अगर शुरू नहीं किए हो तो it is going to be very tough. रिजल्ट आ जाएगा तो 2 महीने में कैसे होगा ऑप्शनल पता नहीं. What I mean is, even if you have studied it, it is the answer writing. Writing answer is where very important happens. Because the exam is not about oral. आपसे कोई पूछ नहीं रहा. You tell me what is India, things like that, and then you give an answer. No. The question and answer is there. There are 20 questions which you have to done in the 3 hours, where a 10 marker question has to be completed in 7 minutes, and a 15 marker question has to be completed in 10.5 or 11 minutes. With that kind of speed, and we have to complete our question paper, we have to practice, we have to learn, we have to start right away without waiting for this thing. So optional, if you have chosen the optional, I have nothing to say. Uh, Essay is another part which you have to focus. Start writing at least one essay per week. So if you have a debate whether you should do coaching, अगर कर सकते हो करो. बट सेल्फ स्टडी इज गोइंग टू ओनली बी द वे. आप कोचिंग करने के बाद भी आपको घर पे बैठ के एनालाइज करना ही है, स्पेशली फॉर मेंस. इट इज ऑल अबाउट राइटिंग राइटिंग राइटिंग. यू डू नीड गाइडेंस. ये ऐसा नहीं है कि बिना गाइडेंस का हो जाएगा. यू डू नीड गाइडेंस. So mentorship is going to be a little much more helpful for you, especially writing mains. Uh, अगर ये सारे सवाल आपके मन में आते हैं, then answers are there in front of you. But I know I was there in that seat of yours in 2008, 2009, जब हमें लगता है कि कहीं से कोई होप, कि भाई, how will my preparation, how will be the result, how will be things will happen. But honestly speaking, uh, I saw that people who are like very consistent in their preparation, they definitely get clear to write the means. पूरा गेम वही होता है कि उनको पेन पकड़ना भूल गए होते हैं. They are able to write for 3 hours. sit together and write. वही एक challenge आ जाता है. So even if you have studied well for prelims and you're able to crack very good answers when optionals, you're unable to write, that becomes a handicap for you to clear the examination. So with this, we close our today's session. Tomorrow, uh, we have tomorrow we have answer writing session and a main session at 7 p.m. itself. This is for people who are given the mains, and Elevate Mains is the major program which I'm going to talk about. What all we are going to cover for the timeline is of 8 weeks, and it is aligned to 2026 mains. So we are going to talk about uh, enriching our score for each subject paper, and all on the basis of PYQ. So we are going to run through your PYQ testing. So these are some very tough. Uh, so with that, we'll end up the session today. If you have any more questions, let me know.